Hello, welcome to this special episode of World Music Day. We have our special guest with his special instruments, Mr. Siddhant Mukherjee. Siddhant Mukherjee, by profession, he is a mechanical engineer and he has been playing this slide guitar since his childhood. Welcome, Siddhant. So, Siddhant, tell us how you started with your slide guitar journey.
So, my journey with music started from my birth. So, I was very fortunate that I was born in a family of musicians. So, uh, I got the training of music, and I am learning from my father, Pandit Smarajit Mukherjee, who is a disciple of Pandit Brij Bhushan Lal Kabraji, and he has taught me this instrument, and I have been exposed to this instrument since I was born.
It's interesting that you are carrying forward this legacy of playing the slide guitar. So, what was your routine? That how did you practice this instrument?
Before talking about the instrument, I would like to elaborate more on the training of music. So since I was surrounded by music, and I used to see my father practice every day for 8-10 hours. So passively, the music was always going in my ears.
Okay.
So the passive training started as from the time I was born, but the active training of this instrument started when I was able to basically handle this instrument, because you can see the size of the instrument is such that it cannot be handled very easily by a very small kid.
Correct.
So maybe 6-7 years old, when I was able to a bit handle this instrument, I started getting the training of this instrument. But the training of music started much earlier, as I said.
Exactly. Tell us about this instrument because many people don't know about this instrument. It's not much popular in a mainstream music.
Sure. So this instrument is known as a Hindustani slide guitar.
Okay.
And this instrument was introduced in the field of classical music by my Dada Guruji, Pandit Brij Bhushan Lal Kabraji. So basically, this instrument is a derivative of a Western instrument, which is known as a Hawaiian guitar. So
Okay.
it was developed in the Hawaii Islands. So this instrument, basically, my Dada Guruji, Pandit Brij Bhushan Lal Kabraji, he basically brought this instrument in the field of Indian classical music and modified this instrument in such a way that it could be played according to the needs of Hindustani classical music.
Okay, so it's tuned according to the Hindustani classical music, or
Not only
how?
tuned, but the gauge of the strings and the complete layout of the guitar was made in such a way that it supports the nuances of Hindustani classical music.
Great, great, great. So, the sliding part of this guitar, like it has a speciality. I can see that we slide and we play. Okay. So, how is about the Hawaiian guitar? Like, how did it came?
So Hawaiian guitar also uses the same technique,
Okay.
or the principle of the Hawaiian guitar, and this instrument is almost the same. It also uses this steel bar
Okay.
that we use to slide on the guitar to play the instrument. And the basic principle of this instrument is that in a normal acoustic guitar, you might have seen that fretboard.
Yeah.
Right. We have metal strips which are attached to the fretboard itself. So we generally put our finger on the fretboard, right? And according to the placement of the finger, the frequency of the note changes.
Exactly.
But as you can see, there are no frets on the fretboard over here. There are
Yes,
only
yes.
position marks.
Okay. Okay.
So in short, the metal strip which was there on the fretboard has been transferred to your hand.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So you can slide from one note to another.
Yes. Yes.
And this is how this instrument is played. On the right hand, we have these finger picks by which we pluck the strings. So we pluck the strings, and simultaneously, when we slide the steel bar, we can create music through this instrument.
So, are these the same picks which are used in sitar, or those are different?
No, these are different than what is being used in sitar. In sitar, we use mizrabs. which we generally see, is a triangular shaped equipment made up of wire. So
Okay.
this is made up of steel nickel mixed alloys.
Great. Can you show us an application like how you use the slide bar and this specs, the
Sure.
combination of that? Great, 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 great. I can see so many strings here. So how it's played?
So in this instrument, we have 5 strings on which we play the melody. So these are the 5 main playing strings, and rest of the strings are supporting strings. For example, the first 2 strings that we see over here, so these are called the chikari, which are used to play jhala, the faster part that we play in Indian classical music, and also used in between melody just to signify the rhythmic patterns.
Okay.
And similarly, these 3 strings that we see here are melody strings. We don't play on these strings. We do not slide the bar on the strings, but they're tuned according to the raga
Okay.
to give a better ambience of the raga. Also, we have, if you can see, we have 12 strings over here, which are the sympathetic strings. So these strings were also introduced in this slide guitar when the guitar was being developed. And as I said, my Dada Guruji developed it, and he introduced these sympathetic strings to enhance the resonating effect of the instrument. So these are also tuned according to the raga, and they enhance the sustain and the resonating effect when you play the instrument.
Exactly. It's good to have the complete information of this guitar. Can you please play something for us?
Sure. So I would like to play Raag Yaman.
Okay.
So, and followed by a very popular ghazal, Aaj Jaane Ki Zidd Na Karo.
Wow. How is it unique and different than other Hindustani classical instruments?
I would like to answer this in a more broad way. So, if we look at the development of instruments, so from the beginning, of development of any instrument which has been played in anywhere in world, right? So the instrument uh, has been developed in such a way that it could closely replicate what can be done on human voice.
Yeah.
So if you look at this instrument has an advantage that we can play up to two or more octaves on a single string using the slider.
Okay.
So the voice you can play at a stretch without breaking the notes. The continuity is maintained by pulling the strings, but has some limitation. But here, the range of this instrument is much bigger as compared to uh, like popular instrument like sitar.
Okay. How this slide guitar has been popularized in Hindustani classical music?
So to answer this, I would start with how it was brought to the Indian music, and we already discussed about it that my Dada Guruji Pandit Brijbhushan Lal Kabra ji, he brought this or he modified this instrument so as it was suitable enough, or he modified this instrument to suit Indian classical music. And then he played concerts all over India and abroad and initially popularized this instrument and established this instrument as one of the instruments in Indian classical music. And then there was a very famous record called The Call of the Valley, in which Pandit Brijbhushan Lal Kabraji, Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma ji, and Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji, they played a trio, and album named The Call of the Valley became very, very popular and became a breakthrough for this instrument in the field of Indian classical music. And people started to know that this is that Indian classical music could be played on this instrument, and it became widely popular among the common people.
That's great.
And after that, for sure, this instrument was established as an Indian classical instrument. So after my Dada Guruji, who established this instrument as an Indian classical instrument, uh, my father Pandit Siddhant Mukherjee ji, he popularized it in the eastern zone of the country. Also, Pandit Devashish Bhattacharya ji, he also popularized this instrument throughout the country and even globally. And Pandit Vishwan Bhatt ji, who plays a similar instrument named as the Mohan Veda, and he also popularized the similar instrument. And Pandit Devashish Chakravarti ji. These are the few names that I can talk about, but there might be many more who might be playing globally or in their local region. They might be popularizing and playing Indian classical music on this instrument and taking the instrument to new heights.
Siddhant, please tell us about your recent works.
I got an opportunity to play this instrument in one of the web series, a song related to one of the web series called The Good Vibes. So the song is known as Anjane. So I got an opportunity to play in that song. And also I got an opportunity to play in a Tamil single called Ni Podum Anbe.
Yeah.
So both the songs are available on YouTube. So these are the two recent works that I have done with collaboration with other musicians.
Siddhant, being a student of Indian classical music, what would be your suggestions to the beginners who are pursuing Indian classical music?
So a beginner, maybe in any instrument or maybe in vocal music, who wants to pursue Indian classical music, my suggestion would be that there are two main things that are very important when we learn this music. First one is patience. So we should not expect instant results out of when we start learning this music. So we should have a lot of patience. And second is consistency. So we have to keep on practicing, practicing, practicing. And the journey of improvement never ends. You keep on improving, improving, improving. And so these two things are the basic pillars that one should develop when he or she wants to learn Indian classical music. So it's patience and consistency.
It was great having you, Siddhant, and giving this wonderful information about the slide guitar.
Thank you very much. It was all my pleasure.
Shall we conclude with Raag Bhairavi?